Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Alright, so this is where I'm at so far. For those of you who are not familiar with the project of what's going on, I seem to have a slight issue that I have to repair. Um, for some reason, it is going to need that. Alright, the project at hand is called Stream Party. And for those who don't know what Stream Party is it's going to be released, well, first off, the end of this month on Steam, and it is going to be dedicated towards um, Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers and so forth. And as you can see, we've got our character here. The character setup is not finished yet. Yes, we know we can access the Steam community while playing. I haven't finished doing the character model swaps yet, and doing the skin swaps. Still refining everything on it. Save changes doesn't actually work yet. Trying to figure out exactly what I want to work with the save game feature, and primarily what I want is just your primary model and your primary skeletal mesh and material, so that whenever you configure your character like this, you then commit that to the save game. But I don't think I want to put money and things like that into the save game yet. So we can go into a multiplayer, move that over to here, and I've set up where you can adjust the max number of players allowed to join your session. I'll also add in a map selection as soon as I add a second map and a third map and so forth. But for right now, it's just one map. So max players allowed is 2. That is a functional thing. So is creating your name for whatever you want for your server name. And then whenever you hit make, just like before, it will go ahead and create the server and go in. So for right now, I'm using the demonstration map just because I don't have another map made yet. And all the UI elements like the player HUD and so forth are purely just there for placeholders, just to test functionality. You'll notice on the bottom right hand corner we've got gold, which is a premium currency, silver, which is the standard currency you'll use around town. Damn, I didn't put an ATM in this map. I've added in a health bar, a thirst bar, and hunger bar, which are all functional. And if you drop below a certain, once you hit 0 on thirst or hunger, you'll start taking a health hit, and then once you take a health hit, you'll actually die. And at that point, I am working on a health check system where a medic or somebody will be called to your location and will actually resurrect you right then and there. And other things will be fixed. So the vendor currently is what I was working on right before the stream. Right now he just farts when you walk up. That was just to make sure that, it's a placeholder. So if you're not familiar with this map, I've added in some background sounds, which I'll probably turn them down a little bit more. I've added in, there's another vendor over here. So yes, it does play random fart noises. So you got your police station over here, and just to the right of the police station is a temporary holding cell, and we'll show the functionality of the prison here in just a minute. There is a working prison system, and we'll get to that. I'll go into a different mode here. Car makes a little noise when you walk by. So if you're a normal player and you're not the server host, you have the phone, and if you notice up in the upper right hand corner is, for right now, just a little green dot. That's to indicate that you're no longer in PvP mode. PvP is off. You can turn PvP on, and you'll see that that's illuminated to red to match the color of the buttons. And I took out the functionality of this one. I'll get back to that soon. But you can actually just close the window. And now once you're in PvP mode, I'll probably do some other visual indicator, maybe a model swap to say, okay, now you're in PvP mode. So your model will go to a different model. So people can visibly see you are up to no good. So hitting the P key for the phone, let's turn PvP off. And if you get stuck somewhere, I'm going to have to think about how I want to keep this organized. But all that's going to do is teleport you back to your starting point in the world, or basically to a player where you spawned into the world initially. There's 10 random spawns around the city and so forth. Alright, so if you are the server and you are the host of this game, you get a little bit more magic. And all this is going to be redone here soon. What I'm going to expect from people who are moderators, and the server host, one of the functions that I'm going to have in the admin control panel is... Holy shit, I'm about to die here. Yep, I'm dead. Hunger and thirst have gone to 0. I need to change the rates on them. But people who are the server host can appoint people, which will be a functional thing later on, who will then become a moderator. And moderators will be expected to walk around the map during, the stream. Say if you're a popular YouTube streamer, you've got 50, 60 people you want to join you in a world like this for whatever. It could be a scavenger hunt, it could be a PvP melee combat, or pistols only, or you'll be able to configure your combat modes based on what the admin wants or the owner wants. But once you're a moderator, you're going to be able to go on duty, and you're expected to patrol around the city looking for people who are just up to no good. If somebody is abusing the PvP system and just being a royal D-bag, or they're just showing their butt during the stream, you'll have moderators that'll be able to go around and be able to find those people, and I'll show you the functionality of that here in just a minute. I'll add in a couple extra players. Or you can go back off duty again, just go back to doing what you were doing. So you could actually be walking around off duty, and in your regular off duty clothing, whatever your model you picked beforehand, I just use this one as a default because I don't like it. It'll motivate me to hurry up and fix the save game. So as you can see, the money, I've got 1 gold and 10 silver. Those numbers will be changed to 0 gold. And what will happen is, as the admin, I can come in here, activate this, I can give myself 10 gold, and then I'll be able to drop money. And right now, just dropping silver. Let's drop $100. And what happens is, it actually drops it on the ground, and anybody who just happens to walk over it will pick it up. So if you want to, as a special event for your players that are in here in your stream, let's go back in here again, admin cheats, drop money. It actually drops, bounces off the ground, and now whoever just happens to find it, you can say, okay, I just put $10,000 on the ground somewhere, and go find it. People can run all over the city looking for where the money is. If someone's really being out of hand and you really want to take things to the next level, go to swap mode. And swap mode, you can see you then become equipped with a handgun. And I will set up full functionality for the handgun to where you can actually go in and actually shoot somebody and kill them if you need to. So SWAT mode SWAT mode and duty mode automatically flags you as not PvP, which means other players will not be able to harm you. So you will be protected from other players. You're basically in God mode. So if someone's in PvP mode, they found a weapon, they won't be able to, or they melee you to death, then they can't, because you can't die. So they can't steal your weapon or anything like that. But if they are finding a way to glitch kill somebody or whatever, you can just go ahead and take care of business. And then you can just go back off duty again, and you're good. So hitting off duty will do that, but if you're also in SWAT mode, you can actually go back into it and toggle it back that way. So you got a couple different ways to actually do that. Server stuff, unused. This was working and it just decided to stop working. It was an auto flag. This will be things like setting the mode, like server-wide PvP. or scavenger hunt mode, or combat mode, or whatever else. So that will go in there. This whole control panel is going to change. It's just not enough room to be going through all these and having enough buttons and functionality. Um, so warp to player, send to jail, and release from jail. So I should go over those really quickly. Main menu and exit game. So what I'll do is actually go into the map itself. In fact, actually, let's just go to the lobby map just to make it a smaller environment. So I've also set up ATM system. So whenever you go into the map, you can actually go to an ATM, open it up. The Beefalo Bar Bank, you can deposit all your cash. I'll do a lot more work with the interface, and then you can exit it. And I just deposit all that in the cash that I had into my bank account. So you'll have your bank account, which stores your silver. I'm going to retain gold as being a premium currency only for the person who is hosting to give out as rewards, and I will not be saving money as a persistent item. So I can't just host my own game, go into it, and go into server mode and, or go into admin cheats and give myself uber amounts of gold or what have you. Because I go in here and I could add gold, and it would just not be fair for me to do all that and save that to the save game and then go log into your server and suddenly have all this money I can spend on all the cool stuffs. You go deposit all my cash, your bank balance updates, your cash balance updates. I'll actually do like an amount where you can deposit $5, $50, $100, whatever increments you want. The vendor, I'm going to finish him out here in just a minute, but let's actually take a look at some of the other admin controls. Okay, so this is the server. Got him selected just so I can feature the client. Yeah, you can't see what the client's doing over here, but we're just going to park the client somewhere. They're being a bad person, so I need to go on duty. So I walk around, I look, oh, there's that asshole. I see you. And bang, you've been tagged. I need to get rid of the thing there. So you've been tagged, and now I can go back in here, and you're pissing me off, so let's send you to jail. So what it does is it actually will teleport them to the jail cell. Wherever you put the jail cell in the map, it'll automatically find it. So, they have full control to walk around, but they just can't quite squeeze through the bars, so they're stuck inside a jail cell. You could actually, and what I'm thinking of doing is something that I did before on World of Warcraft private server, and actually make it to where there's a time limit. Okay, you've been sentenced to jail. I can put in your sentence would be 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, set up a time limit. Now, what'll happen is when you go to log out, it'll automatically save that to your save game or whatever. So if you were sent to jail on my server and you decide you're going to log out and come back in, well, it saved your location. So when you come back in, you're still in jail until your timer is up. So you've been good while you're in jail, so let's go ahead and release you from jail. Oh, wait, where did you go? There you are. So you can actually warp to him if you want to, but I'm going to be cleaning up all the extra features and stuff. So, time for me to go off duty and go back to my business. So, that's that. It's giving me an error every single time for the send to jail. For go to jail. I don't know why. Don't care. It works. I've actually tested it in actual multiplayer and it works just fine. So what I need to do is finish the vendor really quickly. Go ahead. One selected viewport. So when you actually walk over to the vendor, he no longer farts in your face. what I was doing right before the stream was actually setting up the widget for the street vendor. Again, temporary placeholders. Just need to get functionality working before I start getting into other stuff. So we got the beefalo burger will cost you $3. A Cinti soda costs you $1. Beefalo burgers are going to cost you $5. Or beefalo beer is going to cost you $5. And what I'll do later is actually put in a drunk effect that will affect your vision for X amount of time, depending on every time you drink a beer. If you drink 3 of them, the effect will stack. So if you drink one, it might last 10 seconds. You drink 2 of them, but you wait until there's 3 seconds left on the timer from the first one, you're going to stack on another 10 seconds every time you drink another beer. If it goes back to 0, then you get 10 seconds again. But if you drink 2 of them quickly, then you're going to have 20 seconds. That kind of stuff. Now, right now, Sans inventory system, all it's going to happen is you click on this button. It's going to, and I'll show you a lot of spaghetti here. But what will happen here is whenever I selected I want to buy a burger, I click the button to buy the burger. It casts to the player. It gets a reference to our silver amount, which is our standard credits. It checks to see if the amount of silver that we have is greater than or equal to the cost of the burger, which are variables that I made up right here. And if we have more money than what the burger cost, then we'll go ahead and get the burger. It will subtract the price of the burger from our currency and set our currency, our silver, back to where it is after we bought the burger. And it's also going to give you the effect of adding 25 to your hunger. Same basic concept for the soda, but it's going to use the soda price and it's going to increase your thirst. Beer, same thing, a little bit less to your thirst. And then, of course, close button. It's pretty simple. This basically, whenever you go to exit, it just sets you back into your regular game mode, gets rid of the mouse cursor, and removes the thing from view. So just need to make sure that I've got in the character. I'm trying to start getting organized on all the stuff here. This is stuff for the admin only. They will not work for the player. The server is the only one that's going to be allowed to have access to the admin panel until I set up the functionality of being able to promote someone to Game Master. Then I'll have regular member, maybe a premium vendor or member or whatever. Just a standard member, you have the admin and GM or moderator. So we'll just call them moderators to keep it simple. So I'm just going to find a clear spot, and what we're going to do here is keyboard E. You can use this keyboard E for everything, and that's all I'm doing. Is the way to keep it for everything is to put in your branch node, and this one I am at the street vendor. It checks to see if I'm at the street vendor. So I need to make sure that my street vendor, first off, let's get rid of the fart ability. As lovely as it is, we don't need him to fart anymore. So now when we overlap this, we're going to set at street vendor to true. But what I want to do first is on the box collision on component end overlap. So I can just grab these two, copy, paste, go ahead and check that so I don't forget. Connect this other actor to here. And we're all set. So essentially when we step into the bounding box for the, or the box collision for the vendor, and I'm just going to make it a little bit larger while I'm here. Just so you get close enough to the vendor to be able to use the vendor. So what happens is whenever you get inside that bounding box or that box collision, then it's just setting it at street vendor so that you can then create the widget. So then if we are at the street vendor, we're going to create a widget. The widget is going to be street vendor. Where are you? Street vendor widget. And then we will get player controller. So that works. We're creating that widget. We need to add it to viewport. And then we need to set input to UI only. But setting it to game mode and UI, yeah, it just doesn't work right. Connect our player controller, connect our widget. We need one more thing. We need to set show mouse cursor to true. So that should trigger it for us and allow us to do it when we get to the vendor. So if we go in here, if I press E, nothing happens. With the ATM, I can come over here and deposit all my cash, hit exit. Hitting E away from that doesn't work. And since I just deposited all my silver, one thing really quickly. Street vendor, I added in a background blur. When you add a background blur in, you have to go in here and set the blur strength. I'm going to put it at 50. So now you see you get a little bit of a blur behind there, so it makes it a little easier to see. I want to buy a beefalo burger. Well, I don't have enough money to buy it. I got enough money to buy a soda, but not the beer. So I've got 0 credits. So we'll let our hunger and thirst go down a little bit. I mean, I can give myself more because of the admin panel, but I don't have any monies. I want to buy a burger. I mean, I can put on there where it will flash up saying not enough money or you broke bastard or whatever. Every time I click the button to try to buy something, not enough money, not enough money, not enough money. But if I go in here and let's just say I went to the bank and gave myself more monies or got money out of my bank account, I can now walk over here and buy a burger, buy a soda, and I'm good to go. So the vendor works. The UI sucks, but, it's one of those things where getting functionality first and then go back and clean it up later, to me, is how I like to do things. So the save game functionality primarily right now is going to only affect your character model. But I think to keep it fair, what I need to do is set it up to where the server itself, whenever you come and join my stream party, say I'm hosting right now, I want you to join my stream party. So you come in here and everything is cool. You spend all your gold and buy your fancy characters and everything else or whatever else. You can't carry that over to other servers. And once I close this server, if I go to restart it on the next stream, then that's no longer going to be persistent. And I think that the only thing that will be persistent will be the free character swaps. So when you're in the main menu, and let's actually go to the main menu. Don't recall changing anything, but okay. So when you're actually in the main menu, this character right here, whenever you set it up, you switch through your models, and all I'm planning on having is 6 models and the appropriate skins to go with it. So you can actually change the material. Thankfully, because Indie Studios assets are pretty kick-ass, you have generally at least 4, and then even sometimes you have 4 subclasses. So you're going to be able to go through the the character creation and be able to change your clothing and your skin color on some of the models. So you can set up your character however you want, and this will actually stay persistent. I'm going to add in the male female switch as well. And if you're one of those people, well, there's more than two genders. No, there's not. There's only two. There's two genders, male and female. We're not going to get into that discussion. So in this case, we have male characters and female characters. There will be 3 male, 3 female, and those are going to be the only things that are persistent between servers on the primary save game. I think that's fair. That way, you just can't go in and give yourself a shit ton of gold and a shit ton of silver and just go and find somebody else's server, join them, and look, I'm super rich, I could buy everything. Yeah, it just wouldn't work. And it simplifies the save game functionality. Later on, as a persistent world is created, then that'll have its own save game functionality. But since Stream Party is specifically set up for, hey, we're going to do Stream Party, come join us, play the game, you know, and they can actually stream them playing the game with their players. So when you hit that save changes, that's going to commit everything to your save game. And that's, like I said, this is the only thing that's going to stay persistent. So you don't have to change that every single solitary time. And if you don't change it, it just stays to the default. If you go to single player right now, it's just going to go straight into the map. Other things that I need to do is actually create a map itself. So if anybody wants to kick in and help with the team and help with the effort here, since this is going to be a paid product, and I have my marketing strategy set up for this, some people may like it or may not like it, whatever, but essentially on release, while in early alpha, the game will be $5 on Steam. Fair enough. Why are you charging for it? You'll get more people to play it if it is free. Okay, that's nice. And I want more people to play it, but I want to be able to pay for itself to get up there. The long term, after the early alpha goes into an actual version 1, we'll say a release version, one thing that will be changing is things like these billboards up here, where it says, let's actually go into that map. All the different default billboards will be changed out. So instead of the cop and the donut, or whatever billboards you see around town, there's one for a car. These will be, the image on the billboards will actually change out, and they will actually be real companies, and I will be charging for advertising. And I've already got a method for doing this to where not only does it display these ads, but they'll rotate. So you could either buy a permanent billboard for a month, or you can buy a cycling billboard, a rotation of, you know, X number of cycles per hour, or what have you. There'll be terms for the advertising. So these billboards will be in the map, and they will have active real billboards with active real advertisement on them. And that's how I'm going to be generating revenue, is from that. And once I go to that version where I have paid advertising in the map, then the $5 price will be dropped, probably even removed. Free to download, free to play. That way, a lot more people will be able to join in, and it will gain in popularity. And as I can start doing some analytics to be able to see how many people are playing, you know, how much play time, that kind of stuff, I can present this to people for advertising, saying, hey, I've got 150,000 people who are playing this game, and we're at 1 million hours of playtime, you know, that kind of stuff. In real world stats I can show to an advertiser that will actually say, hey, this game's making money, so you want in on it? You know, we're getting, you know, we're getting the views. Your ads will get views, that kind of shit. So this being the hospital, okay, what I was testing out, and I took out temporarily just so I can get it refined, so I could actually focus in on other things first, is whenever a medic is called, yes, we have ATMs in town. So I've got this one, and I'll show you the other ATM, which I will set up functionality for as well, and it'll be really quick to do. But when a medic is needed, they will spawn right here, and they will be able to pathfind their own way to whoever is needed. What I had set up was a call medic function for the player menu, so in-game player can call it, and I'll probably make this look like a cell phone, so that the player actually looks like, and actually add the animation of texting, so it looks like you're actually doing something instead of just standing there idle. I'm not sure where I want to put the stuck functionality, but if for some reason somebody does get stuck, I either want an admin to be able to do it, or a moderator to be able to do it, or maybe the player being able to do it. But I need to disable that if they're in PvP mode. So they can't sit there and start being a butthead. And let's go ahead and get a burger and a soda, because we are losing health and thirst. So what I need from you guys is tips on how does the player earn more money? How do you get more silver coins? While you're in here, if you don't want to be up the streamer's ass, the host ass, give me money, man, give me money, man, give me money, man, screw you, go to jail. Screw you, go to jail. Quit bugging me. Give players the option to be able to do something to earn money. Maybe find money around town, or maybe solve a puzzle or something, puzzle, or I use that term lightly, like as you're running around town checking things out, what if you were to come over here and decide you're going to go downstairs here, exploring, walk around, that's cool, and hidden over here in the corner might just happen to be, $20. Hey, shit, I found $20. Or, find a bum on the street and, mug him or whatever, Just, I think that by having ATMs scattered around pretty frequently, you can go to the ATM and deposit your cash. Because what I want to happen is if you are in PvP mode and you get killed, then I want you to drop your money. Your money gets scattered out. So you can go into PvP mode and find other people who are in PvP mode and hunt them down and kill them. And whatever money they had, you can take that from them. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more NPCs. The other one was just going to be the... well, see, that's good too. I didn't think about that, Reno. What if, today's society, and I'm sure like DoorDash and companies like that would love to be able to jump on the bandwagon and get in here. I can go to my player, I can pick up my phone and order burger, order drink. Yeah, sorry, it's an automatic filter on here for language. I don't personally care what kind of language you use. I drop F-bombs pretty regular, so I'm not worried about that, but I'll look into that filter if it becomes an issue. But say maybe be able to order food and drink and build a job system, like a job board, just like I did for the ATM, where you can walk over and use the ATM. There should be frequent enough ATMs so you can find them. So you can actually come over here, and once you open it, I'll actually get a withdrawal feature. Yeah, and a better working ATM. But you say that you're over here sitting down on a park bench, and you decide you want to get a burger and a soda. Well, all you got to do is just order it on your phone, and then as a player job, if you order it where the burger, say, is, how much did I say the burger was? Yeah, I hadn't looked at it. It's something they added recently in here. I'm dead. I didn't eat and drink. I gotta adjust those rates. So instead of it being $3 for a burger, if you order it from the delivery service, it'll cost you $5. And if you order a soda, instead of $1, it'll cost you $2 or whatever. And then maybe complete an order, and then say place order, and an order will come up at the pizza joint or the burger joint or wherever you ordered from. And let's see, where's the burger joint? Shit. Pizza's on that block. Here's the taco joint over there. Well, see, that's the other thing is, what if Taco Bell or Taco John's wanted to be an advertiser? Well, we can just set up this corner right here is the Taco Bell or Taco John's or Del Taco or whatever. I like all three. We only have Taco Bell around here. But like hot dog. When I lived in Atlanta, there's a place called the Varsity and Varsity Junior. Kick-ass hot dogs. But yeah. The other thing too is just because I have this city here, later on whenever it becomes a standalone, I would like to have a transit system. Damn, I didn't fix it yet in this map. I can actually fix that water issue, but that's I think the only one that has that issue. But to be able to go to the subway station and be able to go to a different town, within the same server. But the primary focus is in this product is actually having a place for major live streamers to be able to play this maybe once a week. That way their fans and their subscribers and their Patreons can log in and be able to play. Another feature I'm looking at adding is whitelist, but it's going to take a lot more people joining me to actually come in here and test features and functions. So I think what I'm going to do is at least once a week, maybe Saturday morning or whatever, I'll have a test version out that is playable, and all I got to do is just package this up and anybody can join that has it. But I do need to set up the functionality for promoting people to moderator. Moderators will only have access to the police uniforms. Yeah, I miss going to the varsity, man. Damn, chili dogs are badass. But donuts up there, like Dunkin' Donuts could be a sponsor. Yum Foods for Taco Bell and Pizza Hut and that kind of stuff. But that's the thing is, I watch Twitch maybe once in a blue moon, and to me, I see two things. A, I'm an old fart, and whenever I go in there and I see all these people spamming emojis and or whatever you call them nowadays, they're freaking emoticons or emotes or whatever. See people spamming that crap in chat, and that annoys the crap out of me. And and yes, I will have all the seating fixed and working. Just got to decide if I want 2 or 3 people to sit on the benches. Plus, I'll have chairs, tables, things like that. Functional and replicated. Just wasn't really a thing yet. Did fix that where you can walk through. This was because the capsule collision prevented you from getting through here. I did fix that. Got to work on the jail. Currently, right now, I am using Polygon City characters, Polygon Heist. I put simple props and icons in here, and I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. I may take this one back out. It has some cool stuff. It has some other ATMs. Oh, that was the other thing is there is another ATM style in here, and that's a wall ATM. So I could actually make that work. Let me actually go to my assets, blueprints, standing ATM, and let's go ahead and duplicate that. Call this wall underscore ATM. And I'm going to go ahead and open that and close these two down. They're working temporarily. Now that I've got that selected, I can actually go to the mesh. Now that it's selected, go to my ATM, look at my viewport, and just, there we go. And let's just raise it up. Try it at 100. what I need to do is go into test map, or in this case a lobby map, so I can test it somewhere else, you know. Blueprints, wall ATM, and of course it has to be that way. So, okay, whatever. I'll just throw it on a wall. So that's where it sticks. So we need to move the model out a little bit. Let's try it at 20. Now the best way to do this is actually minimize your window and actually just make your changes here. I think that looks good. So now I can adjust my entry box a little bit to match. So if I want to make it a little bit wider, a little bit farther back. Now, how's the height? It's a little bit on the high side. We can lower it down some. Try it at 60. That actually might be pretty good. You know what? I think I'd like it a little bit lower. But it's just that easy. Since I'm using just a duplicated version of it, then the functionality should still work. ATM is an ATM is an ATM. Yep. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit lower just for the sake of it. Try it at 30. And that's not bad, but we're going to take it back up to 40. That's good. So we got just that quick. We just changed the model out, and we have another working ATM. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the job stuff, see if I can create a job board, and do it like a quest system. That'll be a little bit later on. I think one of the next features that I'm going to work on, besides the UI elements, because if you look at some of the stuff going on with the admin panel, this is just way too small. You can't see the player HUD. I'm going to have to make a whole new player HUD anyway. The player interactions, I'm going to need a lot more stuff. The server stuff, definitely a lot more room. And it's nice you can cycle back and forth between these, but there's just not enough room to keep it in this size format. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just using this whole right-hand side of the screen. I thought about the whole left-hand because I don't have anything there, but just make the panel take up like a third of the screen. Because play it in NewPy. That's going to simulate your monitor size for the most part. In this case, that would be 720p. So whenever I open it up, this panel will come over a little bit farther, maybe this way, and cover no more than right here. Just so I can have a lot more stuff going on. I can put a whole lot more things in it and have a lot more control. And the important factor of what I have to do is got my notes. And that's something that's important for everybody. When you're working on a game, you really are going to have to make yourself a list so that you can see exactly what you need to do. Make hot dog vendor work and sell food and drink for silver. If we're done that, and add hunger and thirst. I like leave a space in between right there. That way I know that, hey, there was something there and I fixed it. This is what's planned here also. Make a vendor for buying new character models. Scavenger mode, or scavenger hunt mode, I think would be a good, now I've already done the money drop. Blocking volumes, haven't done that yet. ATM, done. Paid medic station. I think short term, I could put a medic up and standing there. So if you are injured, you can go over to the medic and do it just like the street vendor and actually pay for being healed. Go to a doctor, essentially. Set gender and character creation. I haven't done that. So yeah, I can see things that I need to do and keep that list handy so that you can actually go through, add things as you think about them, and remove things whenever you get them done. So, yeah, that's the thing. So doing the paid medic and doing the UI elements is where you can spend a lot of time. And right now, like I said, I choose to keep it simple. This admin panel is that it's going to have to grow. Like I said, I've been taking up a third of the freaking screen with this. Just so far, and I'm slowly trying to organize things to where in here I've got this will be the switching between pages, the exit button functionality, and then coming down here, other buttons, and get everything organized inside here. See, that needs to move. That needs to move. SWAT mode is actually a function inside the player. So it'll drop some cash. It's just spawning an actor. This is for adjusting the amount of money you're dropping. All I did was I set a minimum on here so that you can't go below $10 for the drop. Street vendor, the player phone. A lot of things are going to change, but if you guys come up with ideas of what you would like to see, knowing what the project, the end goal is going to be. If you have ideas and suggestions, then let me know in the Unreal Engine 4 section, or I may actually add that into its own channel, like suggestions for Stream Party. So keep in mind, Stream Party is not. It's geared towards YouTube and Twitch streamers who are streaming on a regular basis and they want to do something with their viewers. Love you guys so much. We're gonna have Stream Party Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or whatever. They can make their announcements on their Discords and on their streams. Hey, we're gonna play Stream Party on Friday or Wednesday or whatever, and then whenever they decide that that's the thing they're gonna do, they host a game, and then whenever they host the game, you're running around the city, and the whoever is hosting the game is the server admin until I can create the whitelist functionality, which I'm thinking about running as a MySQL thing. You'll be able to actually see a player list of who's actually there. And the reason why I definitely keep it on Steam and with Steam functionality is because if somebody's just total ass, then you have the ability to ban them from your game or your session or whatever else. I will have whitelisting and blacklisting, but the whole thing is for streamers to have something to do with their Patreons. They could do a Patreon only stream party, or they could do an everybody stream party, because once you actually start hosting maps, and that's the thing, is whenever you actually do it, when you're setting up your multiplayer session, you can set up the max number allowed to join. Might add a password system in here, where if you leave it blank, there is no password, but you can put a password in and then password protect your server. Shouldn't be that hard to do. But once I create my game name, and then say I want maximum of 20 players to join, and poof, let's go. More control for setting up your game and making it nicer. So it's geared towards having fun with your stream community. So like I said, your Twitch streamers or YouTube streamers can actually just schedule events. Once a week we're going to do this, or on Fridays at 7, or what have you. Or we're going to have a private stream party. And another thing that I would like to do, but I don't know how to do yet, is custom music, where players can actually insert their own MP3 files. But one of the things I did have years ago was in another game was live DJs that would come in and play music and do stuff inside the game during your event or whatever. But we'll definitely have to have multiple types of dancing, music, so we can set up a nightclub. And the functionality wise, what'll happen is, okay, here's a pizza joint. Okay, I want to go here and go inside. The interior of that pizza restaurant will actually be somewhere away from everything else. You just would teleport to the interior of a building. Chinese restaurant. Alright, so that's got popcorn, so I would assume that this is going to be a movie theater. Then boom, you walk over to the door, hit E, and you're teleported to the movie theater. Okay? But you decide that, hey, I want to go to the nightclub. So you go over here to the nightclub, you hit E, you go to enter the building. I can have the actual... That's the thing, is you can put things elsewhere within the world. You don't have to put them like right here. And that's what I'm planning on doing, is saying, since you've got here, you got water that surrounds the outside, you won't be able to get into the water. There'll be blocking volumes to prevent that. But why not build the interior of your club down here? Put a ceiling in, put the walls in, put the floors in. You could put it here, you could put it, a mile that way. It doesn't matter. You use that teleport command, and you can put it wherever the hell you want to put it. That way, your sound attenuation, you don't have to worry about the music going outside the walls, somebody hear it as you're walking by. You could if you want, but I figure by putting it, 10,000 units that way, you could set up your sound attenuations. You don't have to worry about it. So you could have a nightclub. And anybody who wants to go to that nightclub, all they have to do is find the location within the town and walk over to it. And hey, this is the nightclub entrance here. We'll walk in, hit E, and poof, you get teleported to the interior of that particular building. And yeah, that's the thing. So suggestions, let me know in Discord. Again, if we decide that we want this little city to be nice, but we want another version of this city, can also set up either of a couple ways. Can set up the underground station right here, hit E, and it teleports you to the train station. And then when the train shows up, you can hop on the train and physically ride, or get teleported to a different location or whatever. But you're still within the same map. So you're not leaving the session, you're not doing a parallel session or anything like that. You can use world competition and level streaming to kind of make things run a little smoother. But here's what I'm going to need from you guys, is if anybody wants to join in on this, and let's say, for instance, if you've got Polygon City. In fact, if I remember correctly, a few months ago, it was actually given out free as one of the free for the month assets from Epic. So you should have had a chance to actually get this for free. I already had it, but if you didn't get it while it was free, shame on you. But I'm going to need a new map. This is the demonstration map that came with the asset pack, and I don't want to use that. Not just because somebody's going to say, oh man, you're just using the demonstration map, you didn't make your own frickin' map. Oh yeah, you're right, but I made everything else, you jackass. Saves me from having to pistol whip somebody, But to have a new city, it doesn't have to be set up where it's got water around it, but it does need a boundary to keep people from leaving the city. So they will be contained. And for that, Since I am planning on charging for the early releases of the game just to help supplement some of the assets and the time and so forth, and to be able to pay people for creating stuff like that, come up with a set value of how much a map is going to be worth. And especially if you're using Polygon City as the basis, you see these lovely rings? The city has to... Let me speed up my camera for just a minute. The city has to fit in the smaller ring. Think of how much cool stuff you can pack into something even that size. I mean, you see what all is in that city right now compared to, how it feels when you're walking around. It doesn't look like much, but if actually went through and filled out the entire city to fill out that entire ring, there's actually a lot of stuff to go on. But think about features you think that would be cool for this. I'll put some of the cars back in as parked cars to walk around and that kind of stuff. I'm also thinking about adding traffic. That's kind of a scary proposition because not because of the work involved in actually making it work, but the whole point is, and definitely have to have a sprint system, but make you actually have to look before you cross the road so you don't get run over by a car. I will set up and change the nav mesh bounds a little bit probably, but I'm kind of divided on that. But at one point, what I had done with this city was actually make it to where the nav mesh bounds were only on the sidewalks and crosswalks. So bots couldn't stand right here. They couldn't stand in the middle of the road. They could only cross the road at crosswalks. And they could only travel around the city by actually going down the sidewalk. And that controlled some of the bot population, which I'm going to have to put some bots in just to make it work. That was something that I've been thinking about on chat-wise. I don't really need chat because it's targeted towards Twitch stream, and Twitch chat can be actually, I know if you're streaming, you can actually pull the Twitch chat out separate. And if you're streaming like I am on YouTube right now, I'm talking and reading that. So it's one of those things where, do I really need to physically add chat or not? Because the whole point is me being the host of this game that I'm hosting right now. I'm actually live streaming this directly to, well, and I am live streaming this directly to YouTube or Twitch or whatever else. So I don't physically need a method of typing chat. And players who, and that's another thing, I can embed YouTube. No problem. I haven't tried doing Twitch yet. I could actually say, put billboards down on the ground level, and TVs and computers and things like that can actually be placed around the map that are actually showing the live stream on the billboards. But there's a problem with the sound attenuations of that. I haven't figured that out yet. Neither have the sound engineers from Epic Games. They're telling me that you can't even do it. So, but I've already proved them wrong on a couple things. I think there should be a chat system, and that's why I've got the cell phone. So the player phone, like this will actually look like an actual cell phone, more than likely. And then the chat features would actually be in the player phone, so you could click in here, type your chat in, hit enter to send it, and then say instead of going PvP here, your PvP modes, but click on this button. Now this all goes away. You see just the chat room. So I could actually embed the chat into the widget here for your cell phone, and to make it to where, oh shit, I'm dead. Didn't eat or drink, so I am dead. So I got to set up the death animations too, and I got to tweak the the hunger and thirst. Damn, I got $6. That's not enough. I need more monies. Thank God I'm an admin, I can do this. Huh, how about that? Or, you know, since I am an admin, I can go ahead and just spam spawn some money. It kind of disappeared because the way the collision is on this part of the static mesh is the collisions are a little bit on the weird side. So let's actually go back over here and spawn me a bunch of monies. So that's the thing is, I want more things like that. There's going to be spawn, a button where I can say spawn whatever. Could it be, for this case, spawn money? So now I can eat and drink, and I'm good. And since I'm dead, I would be dead on the ground. I'd have to have the medic come and rescue me. I think with the is dead trigger that I'll have in, when your player is laying dead on the sidewalk, I may make it to where it's automatic. And let's just say that it's going to cost you $10 to be revived. Or whatever. So dying will be costly or whatever. Just set up shit like that. But the idea is to create inside the admin menu the ability for me, the admin, or the host of the game, to say, okay, we're going to do scavenger hunt mode. So whenever I engage scavenger hunt spawns, then there'll be random spawns all over the frickin' city, and random items will drop. Okay, bring me a slice of pizza, or bring me a football, or bring me a crushed soda can, or whatever, and then be able to pick it up. I don't think I'm going to worry about a physical inventory of items, because that's just a lot of extra work right now, and it's whatever. The primary focus is I want people having fun. So whether you're just having fun and running around doing non-violent cool stuff, or, you know, doing PvP stuff, saying, okay, let's do a pistol combat, and everybody head to the arena, or have a section of the map that's dedicated for PvP. So whoever wants to join, go to the arena. So if I'm over here, you know, I don't really want to do PvP. I just want to come over here and eat hot dogs, or, you know, whatever. You go to a certain part of town that's marked off directly as combat, or a combat arena. And anybody who goes in there is open for combat. And if you don't want to be in combat anymore, you leave the friggin' arena. And have its own rules, its own, and that kind of stuff too. So I just want this to be a special event for streamers to actually have a good time with their viewers and just have a frickin' ball. Whether it's kicking each other's asses, or if you just want to, you know, since the host will have the admin control panel, then they'll be able to change their model to whatever. But what if I want to clone this town, and let's just say we come over here and go to the train station or whatever, or the bus station, and use it as a teleport system to go to PvP town. So this is the friendly side of town, no problem. But we take the rail, you know, that I'll fix the water issue in this one right here, but it's pretty easy fix. Go over here and then teleport to the dark side of town. I could spawn anything. I could set up that system with this admin panel to spawn whatever I want. Click this button right here and just spawn random frickin' zombies. I could go into a zombie mode. I have the Polygon Zombie Pack. I could, in side story here about whenever I was doing World of Warcraft private servers, to keep your server popular and want people wanting to join and come in and play, you needed to have a good server to begin with. But I also created special events that Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have a raid on whatever, or at whatever, just random times. People are running around Stormwind and doing their thing and sitting idle and what have you. I'd spawn a 50-foot killer squirrel, and it would just start rampaging around town, killing everything in sight. And people would have to band together and to a raid group and defeat the evil squirrel. Dumb shit like that. But creating these events and keeping your this is a kind of a reward game. Hey, I'm streaming this other game or doing whatever. Example like the Mighty Jingles could say, okay, let's go. We're gonna have stream party on Friday at whatever time. Anybody can join, or we're gonna have a Patreon only, so you can put a password on it and send out the password to your Patreons. So when you're creating your game, you can password it. Everybody might be able to see it, but they may not be able to get in because they don't have the password. You can set the max number of players already in the menu. So that's the thing, is just pure unadulterated fun, goofiness, and just having a ball. So whenever you actually are in the menu, I said this will be finished out later, but the host will be able to put things in, like, I think the next thing I'm going to try to do is password protection. So I can add a password to it. You can set the number of players. I've got it set to cap at 100, and I think I got a minimum cap at 2. No, 1. So if you just want to play with yourself, by yourself, that joke's never going to get old, by the way. You can just set it to 1, and why you'd want to play a multiplayer when you can just click single player with only 1 player, but whatever. There you go. So what do you guys think about chat? Should I just go ahead and just say the hell with it and put the chat system in? Put it into the player phone and click on, say, chat, or just have it to where it, is a button on the screen, like if you're looking at your phone, and then have your generic home button and, whatever. To make it look like a regular phone, click on chat and have a chat window. So, you can actually read what's going on in chat, or just close the window and go about your business. You're like me, I don't want to see chat all the friggin' time. And specifically if I'm hosting the game, you could also, I will look at the possibility of like a it's like a text messaging or whatever. Imagine Discord for your frickin' phone, but being inside the game. And that's the other thing too, is Discord chats. I always have Discord and overlays and other game overlay stuff. I always have them disabled anyway. I don't like them. But if you've got a Discord channel, you can have your Discord chat set up there also. You can use Discord audio. Bubbles over your head. There is a way, and I haven't done it in a while, but there's a way to actually show it to where it shows over the head. But what if your view is blocking it? You're checking out your sweet crotch, and you're not paying attention to what somebody else is saying. You miss the bubble over their head. How long do you have the bubble stay up there? Yeah, I'm gonna do the player. That's why I got it set up on the P key right now. But it's actually going to be a cell phone. It'll look like a cell phone and have like icons on your desktop or your thing, instead of these ugly ass buttons, a PvP on and off, a stuck button unused right now because I took that one out. Click on the chat button and you have a full chat system. So whenever you're done, you can actually close it up. May actually change the option to where instead of closing it, you could actually, when you side you're not wanting to chat, you can actually leave the phone active and see what's going on in chat. But give me some money because I'm dying. I'm losing. I need some beefalo burgers. You can't go over 100 on health and thirst. So I think doing the cell phone, having a chat feature on the cell phone, might go through 50 different iterations of it. But uh, the actual phone itself, I think, should have the chat feature um, on there. Maybe, I don't know if you'd want it to be the primary, so as soon as you hit that, maybe if you hit T key to open up your T or chat, I don't know how T got bound to chat, maybe talk, T for talk, hit T and your phone comes up automatically to chat mode, and then you can still close the window and go about your business and run around. But if you wanted to do it, hit T to bring up your phone and click on the home button, we'll say, and then you'd have other features like manually selecting your PvP mode, use the unstuck feature, use whatever other features, have menus for the phone, but the primary menu would come up to T for text or talk. So yeah, I guess it makes sense. So you hit T, it brings up your cell phone and this mode right here where you can actually type on it, and then you hit T again would actually close the window maybe. I think whenever you have that, you hit T to open up your window. I'm going to set it to where you cannot walk and you now do an idle animation of texting or looking at a phone. I've got an animation for that. So I want you to get stuck where you are. Couple reasons. I want you to pay attention to what you're doing. So if you decide, I'm going to stop and I'm going to send a text message, I'm in the middle of the damn road. I want to have traffic. I really do. I want to have a car going around the block, and if you're dumb enough to stand in the middle of the friggin' road and text message somebody, you deserve to get run over. Sorry. It's called, natural selection. So, here's what I need for the team, so to speak. Right now, it's a team of one. I don't have anybody else working on the project with me. I'm going to need beta testers so that we can jump in and once a week or more. I would say minimum twice a week on Wednesdays and Saturdays or whatever. Just whenever I need to. But I'm going to throw up a @ here. I hate using that, but and at everyone on Discord whenever I have a version that's ready for testing, and then coordinate time, try to get as many people to jump in and play as possible to run these latest versions. I'm not going to put this version out right now, but I want to tweak a few more things, and then I'll have a version ready for testing maybe in an hour from now, 2 hours from now. But by Friday evening or Friday, I want to have a version ready to play because I want to have this game on Steam by the end of this month. There's a lot to ask for. What I need from you guys is testers. I need somebody who maybe wants to, I don't care if you just take this city right here and fill it out even more, or change the city around, or, I see things like simple things where, like, you've got this block right here. What I would actually do is actually take this whole section of block, and then copy it and paste it and rotate it 90 degrees so I'd have one over here, and then copy both of those and then flip it and paste it 180 degrees so you have a circle shape of 4 square blocks of L building here, L building here, L building here, and here, and then this little building right here on each of the 4 corners. and would have this like a residential block or, whatever. But to make an actual new map for the city map that fits inside of the small circle. So that the map is going to be a little bit bigger. Make it feel like a regular city using just the Polygon City asset pack. Like I said, hopefully you guys got it because it was free to download from Epic a few months ago. Hopefully you got it then. If not, it's relatively inexpensive on the marketplace. It was my first asset pack, and I actually love it. So, need a map with Polygon City. Polygon Town pack will be added here as well. So if you have Polygon Town, you want to make a map with that, go right ahead. So we can have a city map and a town map. And here's the question also is, which other Cindy Studios assets should be added in? I'm going to keep the Cindy Studios assets because I like them and because, well, it's got everything I need, I mean, look at all this stuff. I got ATM machines, I got subway stations, I got buildings, I got park stuff, I got whatever, rooftop stuff, I got stuff, Yes, I have scaled down the bowling ball and bowling pins and made a bowling alley a long time ago. But what other asset packs would be good for Stream Party? For us to, let's do, the primary thing isn't necessarily combat. The primary thing is think of a party. And I've had some pretty weird parties in the past. So think of a party. What would you think would be fun if you are playing this game that's being hosted by your favorite live streamer? Or you're the live streamer and you're wanting your fans and Patreons and subscribers and all to join you. What would be a fun event to carry on? And I want non-violent, and I'm okay with violent stuff too, but it needs to be fun-spirited. If it's, let's have fun-spirited murder. I'm going to club you to death with a dildo. Well, maybe not a dildo, but you know what I'm saying. Is GTA 3 or is it San Andreas that had a big rubber double-ended dildo that you could use as a weapon? Beer pong. Okay, well, you're in a video game, so if you're going to play something like beer pong, it needs to be epic-sized beer pong. So it has to be giant-sized. Instead of, you're trying to bounce a ping pong ball into a cup, why not bouncing yourself into the cup? Jumping off of a diving board and using the launch character thing. Racing, again, we're trying to get as many people on foot as possible, instead of being race cars. But then again, think about it in a fun aspect. Racing is a good idea, but how can you make it so that you're laughing your freaking ass off the whole time while you're racing? My idea for racing is, I know it's in town, I don't think it's in here, but sitting backwards on a toilet, racing on a toilet. Dumpster diving. You're trying to jump off a building and land into a dumpster, I'm talking about just unadulterated dumb shit. Not just, you can't think of... Ooh, that sounds dangerous, but potentially fun. Guitars. Well, there's a guitar right here. It's supersized. It's a freaking sign, but I can scale it down. But you know what I'm saying? Is guitar. Just things. I miss games in the past that were just stupid fun. Redneck Rampage, Duke Nukem 3D, and Duke Nukem where you're running around a small map shooting frickin' freeze rays and shrink rays and, things like that. Just dumb fun that you you don't care if you're doing well or not because you're laughing so friggin' hard that, okay, there's a smartphone right there. Could actually do a physical phone. Has potential. The thing is, I want you laughing so friggin' hard at somebody doing something stupid. That's where the fun is. So, we get out of here. We're past the 1 hour mark. I hear Mother calling, so she takes precedence over you guys. So let me go check, see what's going on with that, and I'll be on Discord. Y'all let me know on Discord these ideas. I'm loving this stuff. So think about things that are just stupid amounts of fun and go from there. All right, guys. Love you guys. We'll see you around, and I'll be on Discord for a couple hours.